Welcome to Emotional Support Water Bottle with Hannah and Ailish.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ailish, and it is Halloween. And we finally can reveal our costumes. I know everybody has been chomping at the bit to know. We are the two versions of Maxine.
Yep. From X and from Maxine.
Yep. So here we are. And we actually like our bleached brows. But
I know, mine are very bleached right now. I don't have any tint on them.
yeah, I put some tint on mine.
Yeah, I was going to, and then I just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, they look fine. It's just, it was difficult to get the yellow to lift out of mine. And I didn't want to keep bleaching them a million times because I was scared.
Just come out. That's kind of why I wanted to do mine earlier, because mine are darker. And I was like, if I do it the night before, I'm sure I'm going to get irritated.
Yeah, with how they look. I was so nervous that when I was wiping them off, I'm like,
the
whole eyebrows gonna come off.
I know. I have learned they're pretty durable.
They really are, because I reapplied that bleach the same night and it was fine. Not even one little eyebrow hair came out. So yeah, it was fine.
They feel a little dry, but
it's fine.
Just touching
I know
them anyway.
at work, some people were like,
something's different.
Did you change your hair color? I got that a lot. And I'm like, no, I bleached my eyebrows.
Mine was when they clearly are looking at it, but they're not saying anything. A couple of people said something. They're like, is something different? Obviously.
I know,
I had black eyebrows. Now I have no eyebrows.
And then some people, when I would say oh, I bleached my brows, they'd be like, that's what it is.
I feel like I'd notice that right away on somebody.
I know. I feel like I would too. I mean, this is a pretty drastic change.
Oh, they're bleached.
But no, I like it. I think it's cool.
I know. I think I'm going to keep it for a little while.
I will too. I wonder how it's going to look when they grow back, because I noticed on a recent post from Lady Gaga that hers are bleached, but it looks like they've had a bit of regrowth, and so it looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
but hers are and it could be the editing in the photo, but hers look very white.
Yeah,
and mine definitely still have a little yellow.
Sorry, mine it's weird because these other hairs, and I don't know if they just never got bleached because they were shorter and it just didn't get it. Yeah, it's they're just in there that are darker, and I'm I feel like my eyebrows, I wouldn't see that any other time.
I know,
it's kind of weird. So I'm I feel like maybe they're just not getting bleached. I would get these. That makes sense to me. But the ones that are inside there.
Yeah, I noticed
it's very
that too.
high maintenance. So if you need a little more bleach before you go, let me know.
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm just going to leave it like this for now and just see give it a little a week, because I just recently did mine and you did yours a little while ago.
I know. I like it with the tinted
me too
thing on there, because it's it gives it a little something
and it kind of makes it look more natural.
Yeah, it gives it more of a ash tone or a neutral tone.
Yeah. So yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it to me. I think I've always wanted to bleach my brows.
I know, same. I've always wanted to shave them off too, but I'm
a little too scared to do that. At least bleaching them, we can dye them back if we wanted or whatever. Yeah, I'd be terrified because I feel like eyebrows would take a long time to grow back.
I know, you'd just be like Jenna Marbles.
Yeah.
I remember she used to do that crazy stuff. Anyway.
But we just passed out candy. We didn't do anything crazy for Halloween with our costumes.
And it rained.
Yeah, it wasn't that nice out. Of course, it was nice all day, and then it rained for trick-or-treating. It would be fun one of these years, maybe when Halloween falls on a weekend, we can actually go
do
out.
Something that same. I know. Yeah, because it's if it's a Wednesday, it's
So it's a Thursday this year.
So next year it'll be Friday.
And then the year after. So maybe Saturday. 2026.
we could go do something.
Yeah. It's in 2 years from now. But no, I think I don't know. It's funny. Somebody asked me like, "Oh, are you into Halloween?" And I'm like, I mean, not really. Like, it's fun. But then I'm like, we literally dyed our eyebrows.
I know.
It's I'd like say we're pretty into it.
Yeah. And like, I know somebody at work was like, oh, you really committed. And I'm like, it's not like that it's not big that of crazy. A deal.
I don't think. I mean.
But no, I know. Halloween's so fun. And there's like it's just such a cool time of the year.
I know. And I wish that we did have somebody who had like a big party or something, but we are gonna go to the Mansfield Reformatory on Saturday. We have committed to a touch pass, and there's no backing out. So we're gonna definitely
let you guys
know how it goes and do a little before and after.
I know. We'll try to make some kind of content. Yeah, it's so hard to make content when you're somewhere.
You're in it. I know it is.
And it's like, and I also want to like, if I'm out doing something like with a friend, I want to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't want to be on my phone, right? Especially on like TikTok.
Right.
Trying to figure out how to do a video because look what we just did and it took us a freaking hour. Like that.
So please look at our
TikTok and Instagram. It's not even that great, but it took us a long time. We had a few different drafts saved and then we went with this one kind of at the last minute and it took us the least amount of time.
See, that's what happens when you barely put any work into it.
Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly. And I'm Lori.
Join three middle-aged, middle-class Jersey Shore housewives as we spill the wine and the tea on everything from Bravo's hottest shows to life's everyday drama and entertainment news. I'm the redhead. I'll bring the spice.
I'm the brunette. I'll bring the humor.
I'm the blonde. I'll bring the fun.
It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's always real talk from your favorite trio. Whether it's relationships, parenting, or pop culture, We Wine Whenever has you covered.
We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Tune in for Cocktail Hour with the crew at We Wine Whenever, available wherever you listen to podcasts.
But anyway,
I wanted to follow up with some movies because I watched Late Night with the Devil.
Okay.
I liked it. I really didn't understand like the AI thing, and we kind of already talked about that, so I don't want to like dwell on it. But like I literally never would have known that was even.
I just didn't think it was like, I get what people are saying, like the principle of it, but to me, it didn't seem
and
like
it was
that.
such a minimal part of it was so silly. But anyway, I really didn't see how the ending, like that kind of threw me a little bit. It got a little wild.
I know, it got pretty unhinged.
Yeah, but I liked the very end where it was like he was the one that kind of ended up killing everybody. That's what I thought.
That's what I interpreted it as. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, was there still a supernatural element to it or not?
Or was it just all kind of in his head? Yeah, I don't know. But I thought it was something different.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
And it was supposed to be a little bit cheesy because that's the way those talk shows were anyway.
And it was almost like you were in the audience. Yeah. Like it was kind of a cool experience.
Yeah, and I liked how it went from color to black and white with like the behind the scenes versus on the air. That was cool. I also watched It's What's Inside, which was that one new one on Netflix. Did you see kind of the preview for that, or at least
I try not to watch previews anymore, but
did you see like did you hear about it?
A little bit, yeah.
There's some sort of like game that's played and things get weird. That was basically all that I knew about it. Like all these friends were together in a game and I was like, okay. It was really good. I thought it was so unique, and other people maybe don't agree. I haven't looked on Letterboxd or anywhere else, but I thought that it was something different. I haven't seen a movie like this before, and I won't spoil anything for you because I think you should watch it. But it was a really good like little Halloween scary movie.
Well, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it was, and it almost gave a little bit of like the Saltburn vibe with like the just the air of privilege.
Right.
So that was kind of fun too.
I know. I kind of love I love when movies do that where it like kind of pokes fun at those type of people in a way.
Yeah. So definitely check that one out. And it wasn't too long either. I think it was like maybe an hour 40.
Okay.
Which I think is a good time for a movie like that. But yeah, for sure check it out.
Definitely will.
And to wrap up my media week, I started watching, I haven't finished yet. I think I'm on episode 7 or 8 out of 10 of Nobody Wants This. I mean, you didn't see that one, did you?
Not yet. I was going to do it in November.
Okay. Yeah. It's fine. Like, it's cute.
Yeah. I like that the episodes are short.
Yeah, they're pretty short. I will just say, I mean, there's definitely like cheesy things in there where you're like, oh, come on. Like typical rom-com stuff, or like, honestly, like the Kristen Bell's character isn't really that likable, in my opinion. And with them being podcasters, her and her sister, as a fellow podcaster, there were some things where I'm like, you're freaking kidding me. Like, it kind of annoyed me because neither of them work, but their podcast like hasn't been picked up by anybody yet. And then they're going on these meetings with like Spotify. So I'm like, there's no way that you are not working and you're not picked up by a platform like that.
Right.
Which is just a stupid thing. But that annoyed me. And just like other random things, I'm like, oh, you're not spending hours making your social media posts? Oh, you're not spending all this time editing? What? You can just easily record in like your kitchen.
Do you like, is it supposed to be making fun of podcasting
I don't know,
a little bit, or you can't, or is it just supposed to be like modern?
It almost just felt like it was modern, and it's not like the focus of the story. It's just like a background detail, but it carries throughout the whole thing. So I think that it's more just like, oh, this is a modern job, and everybody has a podcast. Modern. Yeah,
it's kind of, it's like, I don't think every rom-com or like romantic thing has to be like, oh, a school teacher and a garbage man or something. But it's kind of like annoying where it's like it takes me out of stuff a little bit, where it's like, oh, we're podcasters or influencers basically, or we work on, Broadway as writers. So like, because I remember in that movie, I think it was called Marriage Story or something.
Oh, yeah.
With
Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver.
It took me out of it a little. Like, it took the relatability out, which I still like shows that have that type of stuff, or like movies and stuff. But sometimes it's like,
But it's almost like if you also have the job, not that this is our job yet, but it that takes me out of it a little bit too, because then I'm like, well, that's not how it goes. Yeah,
this isn't true at all.
Yeah.
But which is weird because I guess I'm like, her husband's a podcaster, so you think they know that. But I guess if you're a celebrity and you make a podcast, you're gonna get views regardless.
It's a different thing. And I think Aaron Foster is the one that wrote that.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some things in there where you're like, oh, that's not the best like writing, or that's a little cheesy or corny or whatever. But I mean, it's just supposed to be a feel good thing. It's not supposed to be something that's torn apart. It's supposed to be just an enjoyable watch. I will say, which I know that we all know, Seth Cohen from back in the day, but I mean, in this, Adam Brody looks like he's a really good kisser.
Well, that's what she said.
I mean, he
grabbed her face and she was going on and on and on.
And you can tell. You can literally tell just by like, you just know it. When do you see it? You're going to be like, yeah,
that's a good kiss.
She's right. Yeah. So, and
she was raving about it. So
he's so cute too. Like, you kind of miss him. We don't see him on our screens as much as we'd like.
It's kind of nice not to see like like a stereotypical macho guy sometimes. Like it's nice to just see like a regular guy.
Yeah, who's like a little better looking than the average.
Right. Well, yeah, just like kind of that person. Like it's not like over the top muscular, but then it's not like
he's not like a model walking down the street either. Yeah. And he's not a total dork.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like a regular, fun, cool guy. Yeah.
So definitely watch it because it is just fun.
I'm planning on it. I feel like November I want to do a little like rom-com-y and like that cozy feel.
I really went into a binge like last Sunday. I watched the majority of the episodes, and then I just during the week sometimes it's just harder to get into a show, so that's when I watched the 2 movies because I was like, I'd rather watch these, and I wanted to talk about them and stuff. But yeah, it's something that you definitely could either fully binge it or you could kind of take it slow.
Do you think it warrants a second season?
Well, I haven't seen the ending yet, so I don't know how it leaves off. But I could see sometimes, I don't know, like I could see where it would get a second season and things would be fine.
Right.
But at the same time, sometimes it's nice to just have it be like, this was basically like a limited series and that's it. So I'll have to report back after I see the last few episodes to see how it ends. And then I'll give a real opinion. Yeah.
Gotcha. I know. Cause I'm like, I don't know. Or could it have just been a movie?
It probably could have been a movie.
Yeah. Like I wonder where they'll go with it, but I haven't seen it yet. So I don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was all the new media I've consumed. Did you watch anything?
I did watch a little bit. I ended up watching The Woman of the Hour.
Oh, you did? I did not know. So when I first heard about that movie, and then after I watched something on Netflix, like that trailer came on after, I'm like, oh, I'll just see, whatever. I had no idea what this freaking movie was about.
I know. I think I didn't really watch the preview, but I do feel like it was a little unclear, like exactly what was going on. But I actually, because I don't think either of us love Anna Kendrick.
No.
But I thought she actually did pretty good in it. And then, she was directing it or whatever. But it was like what we've been talking about where it's like the creative liberties on like a real person. And like she plays that woman who was on the dating show. And we don't really know anything about her. She just kind of like went into oblivion, basically. All we know is that maybe she was like trying to be an actor and then like kind of changed her mind. And so there was like, I don't know, we kind of like got this whole backstory for her. Yeah. Kind of, or like her in Hollywood, like trying to make it. And then it's like not working out and stuff. And then they're like, but my agent got me this thing on the dating show. And then that's where it did it. And I was like, because I was watching that part and then I stopped the movie and then I watched the clips from the real dating show thing because I just wanted to see how they compared. And it was kind of funny because when that Rodney Alcala was talking, like doing his, because it was just his answers. And I was literally sitting there smiling, like completely charmed by him. And I'm like, oh,
this is the problem.
Literally, like you would have never. I mean, looks creepy, but like the way he was answering it, I was just like, but I mean, they did change, like the answers and stuff. And something I thought they did that was kind of interesting was Anna Kendrick's character goes like off script and goes a little rogue when she's answering the questions, which isn't what happened in real life. And I thought that was actually kind of cool. Like it kind of reminded me of like what Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where it's like, well, what if the victims weren't the victims? And I kind of felt like that was actually a cool twist. I don't know how other people felt about that because it's just inaccurate of what actually happened.
And sometimes when it is a real thing, people get funny about it.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure what people thought of that, but I actually thought that was kind of a cool choice. But other than that, there was definitely parts where like that anxiousness of being like a woman and being uncomfortable around a guy. And there was like one part where it just really encapsulated that. And I even felt myself like getting that feeling of getting scared.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a lot better there, but it kind of had that like droney, like artsy-ish moments that I didn't love. Like I think if it would have kept the pace,
it would have been a bit more engaging.
But it wasn't bad. I was like decently impressed. Let's see if I had anything else I wanted to say about it. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm not a huge Anna Kendrick fan. I really think it was pitch perfect. Like in my mind, she's just so typecast.
I know. Well, and she did. I listened to her book. This was a while ago, and I just did not think she came off
well.
Yeah, like she came off as that. Like I think it was called like Scrappy Somebody or Scrappy Nobody. And I remember she had like a good story in there about something in her life, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But this I thought she did pretty good personally. So I know it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Worth a watch.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, what else did I watch?
I know.
I watched Infinity Pool with Mia Goth.
Oh yeah. I saw that on Huluween. I was gonna watch it too.
It was a wild ride.
Was it?
It was. I guess because then I listened to a podcast and they were talking about it. And I guess it was NC-17, but then they took some out, and I can only imagine what got took out. But it's like a body horror. It's pretty gruesome.
Okay, I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, it was fun, and she is just
she's so good. She's like
so
queen.
I know, she's literally so engaging. Like as soon as she came on screen, it's like, gosh, she's just so like
she's everything.
Magnetic. I know, but it was a fun movie. It's like, and I loved. Speaking of like Saltburn, it almost had like that like
vibe.
Yeah, when it was like they were on vacation, like kind of these like rich people on vacation. So they were like in linens, like just the whole way it looked. And she had the cutest stuff on.
Love it.
And then it like, it's basically these people. Well, it's a writer and they're on vacation with his wife. And then he meets this couple. One is Mia Goth's character. And then they're like an incident happens. And then the incident, they're like, well, on this island, which is like a made up island. It's not real. But they filmed it in Croatia, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But they, like basically if you accidentally kill somebody or like any crime, you're like basically going to be killed. But then you can do this thing where they like kind of make a clone of you.
Oh.
And that person gets your punishment. And it freaking is like whiplash.
Oh my God. Okay.
So it was fun. I didn't love it, but it was fun.
Okay. Yeah, I'll watch it for sure. I was debating between that or Late Night with the Devil, but since you watched Late Night, I wanted to watch that one too and see what I thought of it. I was curious, so I'll have to go back.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's what I wish that obviously you can search anything, but I like the Huluween being there. Yeah. And I wish that it would like stay, like those categories would stay and you could just like search through that.
I know, because it's so hard to like, and then it's like you put stuff on your watch list on any of these apps, but then I never see them again.
Right, or like you totally forget to even add it to your watch list, and then that's gone forever.
Literally.
Like I'm never gonna remember that one.
I know, because they don't pop up.
No.
You literally like, wait, I thought I saw, because that's literally what I did with Infinity Pool. I'm like, I saw that being advertised on Hulu like months ago, and then I searched it. I'm like, oh, it's still on there. How would I have known?
Yeah,
but
I know.
Yeah, I didn't get to. Oh, and then I watched just one other thing. I watched the Little Vogue Sabrina Carpenter for her tour outfits.
Oh, okay.
That was cute.
She looks really cute on tour.
She does. It was so cute. And she had her little stylist there. And I guess this is Emma Chamberlain's stylist.
Oh, okay.
Too.
But very different vibes.
Yeah. But it was cute and it was fun to see all that. And it's just so cute to like just the love in it.
Well, that's what, when I sent you those snaps about Project Runway, like, I think why I find those types of things with like that behind the scenes, so fascinating is just the process of it.
I know.
Like, it really makes you appreciate things. And
like you didn't just throw that on because it was cute. It's like, no, there's a lot of thought and like changing stuff up.
And I mean, I guess, like I said to you before, like, I don't know if that's just like a certain mindset or like creative brain that you have to have or whatever to like realize those things. Cause I feel that some people don't get that.
Right.
That like on a tour, every outfit is there for a reason. It's not just thrown together with no meaning behind it, you know, or no thought.
I know, it was fun. And when they were talking about all the inspiration for the different thing, and it's like she doesn't have like a ton of outfits for her tour or anything like the Taylor Swift-esque type thing.
Yeah.
So it was like just a thought, and they were talking about the inspiration, and then I can't remember what they said about like the towel thing. And they were talking about where that even came from. And I'm like, gosh, that's just so cute.
Also even the little like commercial breaks that she has in between her stuff too. I mean, that's so clever and cute. I know.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
So I definitely, and it's a short video too, but it was just like kind of cute to hear him and her like talk about the inspiration behind everything. So that was fun.
Speaking of just like movie stars and movies and stuff, did you see that Armie Hammer is back in the game with a Western, apparently?
No. And I've seen it as a podcast.
Yeah.
So what exactly were obviously the cannibal stuff, but did people accuse him of like assault and stuff?
I think that it was,
or they just weren't into
I think that it ended up being like assault because things went too far. Yeah. But he never got fully charged on those things, apparently. Like, I don't know if there were payouts to anybody, but I also think it's kind of a difficult thing to charge.
Right.
Too, you know?
Yeah, like, yeah.
And like, I kind of don't care that you didn't officially get a charge on this.
Right.
Like, just seeing the texts and the proof was kind of enough for me.
It's kind of like giving Tom Sandoval a little bit. Like, I'm going to lean into this like goofball villain thing.
Right. And just to be like, well, I mean, yeah, I did that, but like, it wasn't that bad because I never got any sort of...
I didn't actually eat anyone.
Yeah, and like I never went to jail for it, so...
Like, see?
Everything's fine. It's like, but is it?
I know, that one was...
I just think the situation is weird.
It is. Because it's very unclear to me exactly what was like going on.
Yeah, and I mean... Anybody can have whatever fetish they want, but it just is weird. Like when it comes to like a celebrity, it just is a different level of like the power thing and the consent. It just feels different.
Right. It's like if, the hottest celebrity you could think of is like, I'm a cannibal. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
You're like going to go along with it. And you're like, oh my gosh, that was not what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Or then it's one thing when you get like the texts or whatever. But then if you're in person and things are getting a little too rough.
Right.
I mean, that is scary, like, so, and you can say a lot of things over text that you don't say or do in person, but then if he actually is saying it in person, you're like, oh, hold on. I thought this was just like a fantasy thing. Like,
I didn't know we were really going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
Well, and it's like, because wasn't he like selling timeshares?
In the Bahamas or something.
Disgrace.
And it's just like, to me, it just for him to be like, well, guys, I'm in the clear and I'm back. Like, it's just kind of dirty.
I know. And it's like, I don't know. It's just coming off like, haha, I'm going to lean into this silly
even
thing.
For the podcast, there was like I don't know if it was in the bio or something, but it kind of like leaned into the cannibal stuff.
I know. And it's like, first of all, that's not funny.
No, like I don't, there's no cannibal joke that
makes me comfortable.
No, like it's really just, and when somebody was accused of those things and then they're leaning in, you're like,
I don't know, man. Read the room.
It's just really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna.
And I kind of I'm like, why couldn't you just go away? Like, I'm sorry, that things happened the way that they did. But why are you so desperate to come back?
I know, it's not coming across well. Like, there doesn't feel like any remorse is there. It feels like, wasn't this funny? No,
it wasn't.
It's,
I mean, I genuinely think you made a lot of women
very uncomfortable and terrified.
Yeah. So, like, that wasn't funny.
No.
But I don't know. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, first a podcast and then he's coming out with a new movie. Like, he was just cast. I'm like, really? Who is casting him? Like, freaking Randall Emmett? Like, what is going on?
I was thinking, like, why would you want to work with him? And it's like, yeah, he would. Which it really is a shame because he could have, like, had.
Yeah, for sure.
Something there, but oof.
Too bad now.
I don't like it.
When we were talking about Halloween, I wanted to comment on just, we've been looking at all the celeb Halloween costumes and stuff. But you know how, I mean, like Paris Hilton did it. The Kardashians usually do it. Trisha Paytas does it too, where they just do like a photo shoot. I love it because it's fun to
pretty.
see.
I know. And like, wish I could.
Yeah. But I'm also just, what's the point of that?
I know, especially like multiple of them. Yeah. Like I could see like one like big photo shoot. Like I think I was watching, I don't know if it was a TikTok or a short or something, and it was Ariana Grande's costumes and stuff, and it was like she'd do the whole skits with her friend and stuff, and I'm like, did they actually go out after this?
Yeah, that's what I wonder.
Or is this literally just for pictures? Because like even Kylie's, that was cool where she did the striptease. It's like,
and she looked
she's
great,
not going out naked.
And that's when she did Christina Aguilera that 1 year. I think she did go out to a party in that.
Yeah, and then I think Christina had a party and then she went in like a different version of that.
But yeah, like that's the first thing I thought when I saw the striptease, where it was just like the movie poster or whatever, where Demi Moore is fully naked. And I'm like, well, you look amazing and you look like the poster, but you're obviously not going out in this.
Right.
So I don't get the point of it, really. I guess it's just because they can.
I know, and because now it's like expected. But yeah, I think it's a little like, I don't know. Like I said, like one maybe, and then like they go out and they're in something else. Because even like the Haley and Kendall one, it's like, that's cute, but I know they didn't go out like that. They literally just did a photo shoot.
Yeah. And so what's the, I guess, like for us, I guess you could say the same thing for us.
Well, but we're part of I don't know.
Yeah, we did something and like now we're hanging out. We're doing the podcast.
It's not a total waste.
It's not a complete waste of resources. But it just is, and like this is Kylie's like third costume, you know? So I love it because I think it's so fun to see how into it they get. Right. And it's just entertaining. But when it's literally just I did a photo shoot. Or like, what have they done before? I can't think of one off the top of my head.
She did like the Bride of Frankenstein, I think.
Well, but I'm thinking of like where they did a shoot and then it was like, we're going to a party or whatever. Yeah, I know that there has been some, but like they have done that before where even if it's like a, when they go to the Met Ball or something, it's like you do this full photo shoot, beforehand and then you actually go to the event. Like, that's fine.
Right. But then to just like have a photo shoot that you probably did like in July.
Yeah.
This seems a little like.
But I guess at the same time, it is just content, you know? So like they probably think of it as, I have a photo shoot for work. You know, how is it that much different than doing like a magazine cover, I suppose, when you're just going to put it on Instagram. Right. But it just, for a normie, it seems kind of weird.
I know. It does. I know. I've thought about that a lot too. At least with like the little influencers, they're like actually going out.
Right. I know.
In their costumes.
But it's also the same with the makeup artists, or not full makeup artists, but the ones on TikTok
that do like the sci-fi.
Yeah, or they've effects. Done like the 31 days of Halloween or something. It's like I know the one that I've been watching recently was that Big Fat Jenna. Like hers are pretty good, and she's like, "This is my second look of the day." So it's just like she literally will do a look. Do take her full shoot, do all the TikToks, take it off, do another one. I mean, it's a job. It's just weird. Like, if we do that, we're going somewhere.
Right.
You know?
I'm not wasting it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a totally different lifestyle.
But I feel like this year I haven't seen a ton of
costumes. I wonder if we'll see more pictures tomorrow, because it's like today's Halloween. Yeah. We'll see.
Yes.
Do you have any other timely topics?
I don't think so. It's been a little dry.
We're only at 35 minutes. We have blown through this. So
our social Halloween
we can blow through OC and we'll be done in a little over an hour, I think.
There we go.
Maybe less. Okay, so this episode, they're still in London, and then next episode is the finale, which I didn't know. Did you know that? Like, did they even say that before?
I don't remember it.
That shocked me. I mean, I guess it has been on for a while, and we were just talking about that, but I just didn't know. So we pick up exactly where they left off, where Jenn is going off on Tamra and like freaking out, and it really kind of just like escalates even more, and she's like, do you even have a soul? Like, she's really just like letting it rip on Tamra. And then Tamra tells like a timeshare story about Ryan, and apparently Shannon was in on the initial conversation with that. So this whole episode was just so mean girly to me.
This was awful.
It was
like, I know, even when like towards the end when Gina's like, okay, do you realize what you guys are doing?
Yeah.
Like, it was finally, it like clicked for me too. I'm like, oh, this is like, they're taking everyone down along
I know, but even with Gina saying that, I was like, you have been doing this too.
Right.
It's like all of you guys you're not real friends. You're such fake friends. Terrible. So you're just all like hearing something from one person, then immediately going to them and telling them and stirring the pot.
I know. And I was thinking too, like, to hear something that someone I was in a fight with said about me 2 years ago, I don't know if that's like
so dumb,
confrontation worthy.
Well, unless it was something.
Yeah, it had to be pretty.
If it was like, they're the one that started that rumor that ruined my marriage, you know, something like that, then it would definitely be warranted. But some of the things that they're even bringing up, I'm like, you're literally just bringing up all the dirty laundry that you know.
It's like, good grief, pulling up text messages. Is that thing about Gina true?
I don't know. I guess, well, on this most recent episode, well, it might have been Tuesday's episode, it doesn't matter, of Juicy Scoop, Heather said that she did hear about that from one of the like bloggers, but I don't think it was a big one. It was whatever one they mentioned on the show, and I had not heard of them. But she's like, I didn't cover it because I didn't think it was worth covering, and it was a little below the belt, you know. Then it seems completely unfounded,
right?
So I think it was probably just something that the ex-wife put out there to try to make both of them kind of look bad, especially Gina. Oh, and then Tamra said, after Jen finally leaves and Tamra says something, or Heather did, about like how good Jen looked, and then Tamra's like, well, that was a good tummy tuck. I was like, I mean, not that I didn't already suspect.
I guess I didn't even think about it until, because I'm like, oh, she's probably just in shape. Like, I guess I didn't really look at her, like, because I was thinking too, I'm like, we don't really see like their bodies much. We usually just see
and they're not always ones for like a crop top or something like that.
And she's like, she doesn't even have a belly button. She's like, she talked about it. I'm like, not on air.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
unless
I don't know, or maybe on like her Instagram or something. Like, I've never heard that, but now, I mean, I definitely had noticed that like she does have a very flat stomach, and I'm like, I think she's had work done just based on her birthing all those kids, but I didn't know. And then for her to just throw that out, I was like, damn. And then I thought it was funny how Heather was like, well, hold on a second. Like, don't be saying that. And then Jen immediately goes over to Katie, and that's where it kind of starts, like the separation of the groups for the rest of the day. Shannon hangs out with her daughters. And what annoyed me, this always annoys me with like housewives' kids. Like, it's so obvious that you're just trying to be involved. Like, who sits there with their mom and is like, well, she's a really bad friend to you, and this is so toxic, and wow, that's so dirty. I mean, would you do that about like your mom's friend?
Oh no, I honestly, I guess if my mom kept, but it's so weird too, because I'm like, I can't watch my mom's interactions on TV.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like a weird, I don't know.
I just find it so forced.
Well, I definitely think like that generation on camera is a little weird.
Well, and when it's like when the Southern Charm had said before, where it's like, we are real friends, but there's times where we're like, okay, we know what scene they want, we know what conversation they want, so we're, rather than sit here and film for 3 hours, let's get it done in an hour and a half, because we'll just bring it up. Like, that's what it feels like, but with the kids it's almost so I think obvious. It's
because even with Shannon's kids talking to her about random stuff, it's like, okay, I get we're getting like these scenes rolling. I don't know that. Well, and that situation was kind of like weird, like with the Emily's kids and then Katie's kid.
That was so weird.
I know. I'm like, and then I'm like, well, I guess I've kind of like, but my kids are still little, I guess. But I've definitely like talked crap about people in front of my kids.
And I could definitely see that happening.
Right. And it's like, I don't think it would be crazy for if Emily and Heather got in like a big fight, and Emily was really hurt about it, even though we didn't quite understand what was happening.
Yeah.
It's like, of course her kids are going to say that. Like, I don't know. Or like even same with Katie's daughter being like, whatever. I don't know exactly what happened, because then they both didn't. I know, because they both ended up denying it. But it's like, I don't think it's that weird that the kids said
me either.
Knew that.
I mean, if if your kids were in the living room and you were talking with your husband in the kitchen and you're like, oh my God, you'll never believe what so-and-so did.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're like, that bleep, 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 and you're like yelling about somebody and your kid's right there, like, but I don't think that just talking about your frustrations to like your friend or your spouse is necessarily a bad thing to do in front of your kid, or like probably not like at the dinner table while everybody's there, but like if your kids are in the vicinity, I don't think that that's bad. And then for a kid, we'll pick up like, oh, my mom is mad at
I know.
Heather,
because it's like, I'm sure, like, even just thinking of that one night when Emily was going off, she probably came home. The kids probably started crying.
Yeah.
And she's like, my friend Heather is mean to me. I don't know. I just think that whole situation got blown up so big with the kids.
Yeah.
And stuff. I'm like, I think everyone's reading into that too much.
I mean, and it is just so, Katie is just trying to make her mark, which I don't think she's doing a terrible job, but, just bringing that up to Tamra in the first place, like, what you're doing there by saying that, and having your daughter say it, I think is weird. Like how that we got that flashback and it was like, oh, we'll tell her about that. Wait till you hear this. You're going to die. Like that is a little bit weird. Right. Like using your kid in that way to bring up a storyline, but the whole thing was very convoluted and
I know,
silly.
I'm like, and then they both like denied it and have two different stories. So I'm like,
okay, well then
I know it's like if both sets of kids have two different stories, I think we should maybe just not do this.
Yeah, then just have it be done. And like Emily, if you're supposedly fine with Heather now, then just move on. Like don't even.
Right.
Let's just have it be over. We had Emily, this is where it separated with Heather, Tamra, Gina at Caviar, and then Emily, Jenn, and Katie at Drinks. And that was basically that entire conversation that we just had. Then it goes to dinner and they have an etiquette coach come to them, which really was just something. Like, I get why they do those little things, but they always have to make like stupid jokes. I know. And I have no idea what we're from California. We don't know. It's like, okay, like, come on now. And then we have a blow up with Tamra and Jenn again, and then Tamra tries to bring in Shannon for stirring up stuff with Jenn and how it's actually her fault. And then
that's when she got the idea.
Yes, that's where the light bulb went off.
Like, I can do that too.
And Shannon or Tamra says something about like Shannon again being a drunk, and that's when Gina stepped in and was like, okay, that's enough, which like I did appreciate that because Tamra's just being ridiculous, throwing that around, and she knows what she's doing. But after Gina did that, they kind of cut to Shannon, and she's there like,
I know.
So smug.
I know they were both rotten. I'm like, rotten.
Like, you're both horrible people. Like, there's no redeeming qualities here, in my opinion. No. Like, you're both so nasty.
I know. Like, who even wants friends like that?
I know. Like, neither of them are good friends. And the thing that is bugging me, like, we know that Tamra is bad, and Tamra, I think, even knows that she's bad. But Shannon's like moonlighting as victim.
I know,
and like, no, I actually am a good friend.
No, you were a part of that. Yeah, no, you were a part. It's like, it just sounds so stupid. I wouldn't even want to have a conversation with either of them.
And the thing that's so ridiculous is, I'm sure you guys talked mad crap about everybody because you used to be best friends.
I know. I can't imagine like having a fallout with somebody.
Like, you literally imagine
and then them going and telling everybody what you said.
Like, can you imagine that?
Like, it would have to be so. I mean, you would have to have like killed people that I love for me to go
do that.
Well, this is everything she said, because that is just. I just don't think if you're genuinely friends with somebody, that stuff should have been left right where it was.
Right. It's like to go out to dinner with somebody and be like,
guess what? Here's the text.
This has really been weighing on me, and I feel like I need to tell you. She said that.
And you picked something that triggered that person the most. I was like...
It's like, I was just happened to be going through my texts, and 3 years ago, I received this. Yeah, it's like... Come on.
Literally.
So I just thought that Shannon is actually being very calculated here too.
Yeah,
and
think it's all messed
the whole
up.
season is what's been frustrating me. I mean, Shannon and Tamra are just cut from the same cloth. They're one and the same. They're both so sneaky and calculated, and it's mean. Yeah. And it's really just like, I don't want to say it's like good TV, like it is entertaining in a way, but when you really start thinking about it, and like you said, this episode was the one where it was just so messy. I know, it's like,
this is just not even fun anymore.
Yeah. And then I did think it was funny when Tamra and Tamra and Jenn were yelling at each other, and she's like, you better shut your mouth about Ryan. And then Tamra goes, oh, why? Is he gonna put a hit out on me? Like, that made me laugh out loud.
It's so rotten.
Like, and then even Heather was like, oh, don't.
I know. And then Tamra later too was like, at least I didn't run into a house.
I know.
Got her.
I know.
Roasted.
I know. It's like just the lowest of the low. The worst thing you can say.
Tamra, stop it.
She does that every freaking time. And then Jenn just continues to like lose her freaking mind at Tamra. Like, this has all just been a long time coming.
Picking at somebody.
Yeah, and she is just yelling at her. And it honestly is you can tell everybody else is so uncomfortable. And like, okay, we're in a restaurant in England. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Every once in a while, I like to look at the background. And even though usually the people's faces are blurred, they're like turning around.
You can see the vibe. I know. That dinner is over, and we go back to the room, and Heather is telling Tamra that she needs to talk to Jenn. And of course now Tamra is more like not so elevated and activated, and she's like, I definitely will talk to her. Like, okay, that's gonna go over really well. And then Shannon, at the same time, she's like back in the room with Emily and Gina, and she's like acting like she was never even friends and never was that little snide, sneaky girl with Tamra. Like, you were. Like, don't act like you're so above this. Like, you were fully a part of this, and we all know it, and it's fine. Like, that was a while ago. It's fine. Let's see. They go to the country the next day, and Shannon ends up having a complete meltdown because she cannot relieve herself, which, that can be a struggle.
She gets the vacation constipation.
Yeah,
someone who also gets vacation constipation.
As well, and it is definitely awful. But I have never had it to that level. But I think Shannon was also just being dramatic. How long were they in London?
I know. What's it been? 2 days?
Yeah, like come on. Right. There's no way you're like, she was doubled over. And then of course she's like, I need an enema. She's freaking obsessed with enemas. We've seen that season after season. But it was just kind of comical because you're like, oh my God, like, why is this a weird thing for you?
I know. I would just sit there in discomfort.
Me too. I wouldn't even say anything. But you're not drinking enough water. You have to hydrate more and more and more. That's what it is. There's that stupid convo once they get to like that lunch or that Sunday roast thing between Shannon and Heather, which I just find so dumb. I mean, apparently, who was it? Did Emily tell Shannon that Heather actually told them the picture thing after it happened? Yeah. And I'm just like, this is such a moot point to me because you said it on camera, Shannon.
Exactly.
Like,
I know.
Anything in my mind that you say on camera is fair game to get brought up to the rest of the group. I know.
She says, I thought I could trust you.
If she said that off camera to Heather, that is a totally different story.
And I'd be like, Heather, that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you did it right on camera. You showed no trigger warning, nothing.
Yeah.
This bloodied up photo of you.
And you knew what you were doing coming to her room when everybody was getting ready for dinner, and like you're in a robe and had been crying, like, you know, you were making a scene,
right?
So I just think that's so silly. And she's like, I was betrayed by you and blah 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 blah. It's like, come on, like, again, playing the victim. And she's just like, well, I shouldn't have come to you with this. I should have gone to Gina. Okay, well, Gina probably would have said something too. I know like, she
traumatized me on camera with your photo.
And Gina definitely would have opened her mouth and said something to Emily, and then Emily would have said something to Heather, and then it would have gone through everything anyway. And then I loved when Heather was like, you are controlling the narrative just like you did with everything with David and the cheating and the divorce. And I was like, yes, finally, we're going to break this wall down and say this, because she does this.
I know.
Like, and with the stuff that Tamra had said before too, when she was like, yeah, Shannon would say this about David on camera. Like, I believe that.
I believe it too.
I think she's a little sneak.
I think she's too.
And then they go inside after that, and basically not really a real resolution because Shannon's just still pissed for no reason. And then she blames Tamra for all this stuff because it gets brought up about the story that about Gina, about the stairs situation. And then Shannon freaks out at Tamra. She gets really mad. She's like, leaves again. And then they come out with the cake, which is kind of a funny scene. But then in the confessional, she's like, I am so done with toxic people. And I'm like, look in the mirror, Shannon. Like, you are also toxic. Like, it's just so... It's so silly. And that was basically the episode. And then we have the finale, and then I haven't really seen the clip that they just put out for the reunion, but I saw that was released. So
didn't Andy Cohen say it wasn't even bad? Or it was like calm or something?
Yeah, I haven't heard that it's anything crazy, so
just lame.
Yeah. The story that was brought up about Gina and Travis, and she's like, now I'm gonna have to address this like at the reunion. Like, I don't feel like you will. Like, I don't think that it's even necessary for her to.
No, like, that's not really anyone's business.
No. And I think it was just brought up stupidly by Tamra, and
to be nasty to each other.
And there's no point of bringing that up any further.
Right.
So you don't have to explain yourself on that. But anyway, so we'll see what goes on with the finale that actually is over now. Because it's Thursday tonight, and we'll talk about it next week, and then we'll have the reunion after that, and then Beverly Hills will be coming out, which I didn't watch the trailer for that either, but it's, from what I have heard, it doesn't really seem like we're gonna get much with like the oh my god, Mauricio and Kyle and
wait,
I'm gonna
Morgan.
make you love me.
Morgan Wade.
Morgan Wade. I don't think we're gonna
they
get
things still?
Apparently she's still been seen at Morgan's concert, so apparently they still are, but they've definitely been out of the public eye. Zombie's losing his mind.
I know. I think he must be hungry or something.
Or have to go out or something.
The door is open.
Oh, it is? Well, that was basically all that I wanted to discuss anyway. Did you have any final thoughts?
Nope, I think that was about it.
I didn't really think of a recommendation. I guess in light of our costumes, I would say to watch the X trilogy.
I know, I got my mom hooked on it.
Since it's so good. So that would be my recommendation.
I'm going to recommend I don't think I've recommended them yet, but Two Girls, One Ghost. Listen to some spooky. They got some spooky stories on there.
Good one. And don't forget book club. I have not started reading yet. I know
I was going to today, but then I just wanted to do spooky stuff.
It's going to be our November book club because you know what? Yeah, we're not going to get through it until later anyway. So, but it's Men Have Called Her Crazy by Anna Marie Tendler, and follow along. So you have some extra time to get it if you're still on that wait list. And don't forget, please find us on our socials. Find us anywhere where you listen to podcasts. Please leave us a rating and review. That helps us a lot if you would do that. We would really, really appreciate it if you said something nice. And thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.